Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. I want to remind you all over social media, Facebook, Blue Sky, X, and of course our YouTube channel, The Stephen Knight Show. Please subscribe. Well, Bad Bunny hosted season 51 premiere of Saturday Night Live on October 4th with Doja Cat as a musical guest. This marks his second time hosting the show. Now, highlights from his appearance, addressed the backlash for the Super Bowl performance, upcoming Super Bowl performance. He referenced criticism over his selection as the 2026 Super Bowl halftime show performer by mocking Fox News and telling anyone who didn't understand his Spanish monologue, you have 4 months to learn. Celebrating the Latin culture, in one sketch, he honored the musical Mexican sitcom El Chavo del Ocho with help from fellow cast members Marcelo Hernandez. He also had there were some surprise cameos. The episode featured appearance by actor John Hamm, and who reprised his viral moment dancing at a Bad Bunny show in Puerto Rico, and in Benciana del Toro. He also they also did a lot of they mocked the Trump administration, which it really did seem like it was something real that could happen because if you watch the clip I saw, of course, the administration took to social media to speak out against it. Um, Brittany, I like that SNL. One thing about them, they've never they've always they welcome the controversy and they lead into it. And I think by having Bad Bunny host after this backlash and a lot of people saying why they pick someone who's not even American when Puerto Rico is part of America to perform. And here's the thing: Bunny has performed at the Super Bowl before when J Lo and Shakira did it. So now is this backlash. But what are your thoughts on him hosting and him kind of standing up to the critics?
I like Saturday Night Live. I do. I think they're a good show, and I definitely think they add great satire to everything that's going on in the current events of the world.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm glad that he has, a very strong mind. But I
Mhm.
still don't know who he is.
Well, they
Yeah.
announced that the Trump administration announced that they're going to have agents at the Super Bowl, to ICE agents at the Super Bowl. Someone said, I can barely afford to go to the thing. You think undocumented immigrants are going to go to the Super Bowl? But Lydia, what are your thoughts on this?
Uh,
That is funny.
They're
I'm gonna
just
say this. I'm gonna
hateful.
say this part first, and then I'll give my thought. The suavemente. I am learning everything that I can learn, even though that's Elvis. That's Elvis Cospo.
Uh,
Let me tell you something. I've been listening to Bad Bunny because I want to make sure I can at least participate in the dancing in my house
right.
when Super Bowl halftime comes. I'm getting me a sombrero. I'm getting some maracas. I'm gonna be dressed down in here, and I'm gonna be getting my
Have
groove on.
fun.
I am on my Duolingo. Hola, como
Yeah.
está?
Yeah.
I'm doing all of that. I got some months to prepare because the Spanish I learned back in high school, I ain't there. I ain't there no. So I'm getting ready, and I'm gonna say that. So for those of you, you know that Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory, right?
Thank you.
It's a U.S. territory. You don't have to go across the country to go to Puerto Rico.
Right.
You don't have to do that.
No
It's
passport.
here. You don't even need a passport.
Uh-huh.
Okay, El Pasporto. You don't need that for that.
No. No.
Okay, that's over here. It's an American territory.
Mhm.
That is my TED talk for today.
Right. And
Now they're gonna visit. I'm about to say now they're gonna visit Puerto Rico and talk ice in Puerto Rico.
all right. But it's I don't know what software it is, but it's where you learn different languages. They said the most search was Spanish since that
Yep.
announcement of Bad Bunny.
Yep.
Chicken, what are your thoughts?
Lanier can tell you that I've been on this Bad Bunny train way before now. Like
Yeah.
I'm a Bad Bunny fan, have been.
Mhm.
Um, On a serious note, what I'm looking forward to is to see what um, controversy he's going to bring to his
Yeah.
performance, because it's a double whammy. He's American, he's Hispanic, and he happens to be gay. So I'm looking to see how he's going to tie that into whatever he's going to bring. I can't wait for the drama.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it could be as good as Kendrick Lamar. Hopefully, we can get some deciphering and decoding, because I love that. I thought that was fun. How
Yeah.
you figuring it out and figuring out what he was trying to say.
They stayed
I
there for a
love
long
art
time.
that continues to give. Like Bad Bunny, please come for their throats, please.
And who he brings out.
Yeah.
That
I
part.
I want to see the whole. I want to see a trifecta. Like I don't listen. Bring them. I don't care if you bring out a mariachi band. Bring them all out. Bring them all out. I don't even. I want to see everybody.
Yeah.
I want to see it all. I do not care. I just I'm going to have that thing blasting in here, and I'm gonna just be suavemente, with some tequila.
All right. There was a post going around, I think it kind of went viral, and it named all of the people who performed at the Super Bowl who are not born in the United States.
Shakira is from Colombia.
No problem whatsoever. They had no problem.
Your hips don't lie. It's from Colombia.
Yeah. I wish I would have seen.
You know what? Jay said, well, J-Lo performed. That J-Lo assimilated a long time ago. She don't count.
Right.
What are you talking about?
Right.
She don't count.
Right. All right. Well, prayers are flooding in for Colorado Buffalo's head coach Deion Sanders after his squad's game on Saturday. The third-year head coach, dropped a heavy bombshell. The Buffaloes took a L against TCU, losing 35-21, bringing their season record to 2-4. But what really has people worried isn't just the loss. It's Coach Prime's post-game revelation. The former NFL star shared, "I'm hurting like crazy. Cat's out the bag. All right, I think I've got more blood clots." He said, it doesn't make sense. I'm hurting like crazy. I'm not getting blood to my feet. This is why my leg is throbbing. Throughout the game on Saturday night, Sanders is seen sitting multiple times, and now he plans to visit a doctor. "Sorry to get that out, but thank you for noticing," Sanders mentioned while responding to a question after sharing his health concerns. He's had a lot of health concerns recently, Chike, but definitely prayers for him. I guess he probably thought it was obvious, him sitting down a lot and all that during the game. What are your thoughts on him giving this revelation?
You know, I don't want to sound cold or callous, but Mr. Sanders is not, a spring chicken. He's not young, and he's worked his body hard. He was a professional athlete, one of the greatest. So that chassis that his spirit is in has been through some things, and it's only a matter of time before there starts to be tells. If you abuse your body, and he abused it for a good reason. It brought him to, be where and who he is now. It takes a toll. And it's the natural progression of things. I wish him well. I want him to be okay, because, we like his spirit in the game. But at the same time, he's been through some things. So, all I can do is pray. Getting older sucks anyway. It sucks outside of being a professional athlete. And most professional athletes start to wear down differently because they've used their body in such harsh ways.
Pretty, what are your thoughts? Because he has been through a lot. He's had a lot of surgeries, and what are your thoughts on him sharing his health journey?
It's sad to see us like losing all our greats, whether that's music, whether that's athletes, like these other people I grew up to. So like to just think like Deion Sanders is coming to his end. Like I think I was around when Muhammad Ali was coming to his end, and then to see Luther go, then to see like it's sad when like the people you came up watching to come and go. So I do think like it just shows the fragility of life. So
Yeah. Lanier?
Deion Sanders is one of my favorite athletes, and I feel like he had to get two of his toes amputated.
Yeah.
Which couldn't have been no more than maybe 2 years ago
Yeah.
now. And then I think it was prostate cancer, which was recently, that he announced and he shared about it. And I feel like having had both of my grandparents have something that was amputated, I feel like once something is amputated, it's scary, but it just seems like a house of cards just start to fall after that. I think some of it is when people just give up. And then the other part of it is, we just don't know. Yes, his body has been through a lot, but we just don't know when you do one thing, how that's going to affect everything else. And we know that his feet getting amputated had nothing to do with the cancer. And luckily they caught it in time for him to get, for him to be where he is now. But you can definitely see how it has taken a toll because he's such a vivacious person. He's such a, a lively person, such a God-fearing person. And I know that God-fearing thing is really holding him along with his family.
Absolutely. And you just never know what people are going through. I was listening to Jay Shetty's podcast, and he was interviewing Madonna, and she was talking about, I forgot about this, but before her last tour, she got deadly sick. She had sepsis. And so she said that she was in the hospital, and she said that she always, people recover from it differently. And she said that she always felt like that she was just strong and could deal with anything, but she said that she was like out of it. She didn't know she was going to make it out of it. So, I hate to, like you said, when people get older, we start having these things. Unfortunately, people have it younger, but just praying that he does make a recovery and can not be in pain. I can imagine being in that much pain all the time. You know what I mean?
Every day. And my dad every day. When somebody wakes up in pain, they go through the day in pain, they go to bed in pain. And my dad had sepsis, and he pulled through.
Yeah.
My brother had sepsis, system started shutting down, and he passed. So, it's now.
Wow. All right, well, our last story. So Leah Jones spent 8 months applying for jobs under two LinkedIn profiles, one as herself, a black woman, another posted as a white woman with the exact same credentials. The difference, the white profile got interviews, callbacks, and offers, hers didn't. Her undercover experiment, now part of a docuseries, Corporate Catfish, being black in corporate America, pulls back the curtain on the reality too many black professionals already know that talent isn't always what decides opportunity. Now, do you think corporate diversity statements mean anything when bias still shows up clearly? I'll start with you, Linnea.
Listen, that sister was like, I know you lying. All this talent and all these skills and qualifications I got. And listen, it's a real thing. It is absolutely a real thing.
Yep.
And I'm happy she did it.
Yeah.
Not that it may change anything, but if you don't call something out, then it continues to do what it does. But as long as you called it out, then it's out there. It's up to other people whether or not they want to.
They know about it.
To know about it.
Yeah. Ooh, somebody can say about this. Brittany, what are your thoughts on this experiment?
this does not reflect the thoughts and beliefs of the company I work for.
Right.
Because I do work in corporate.
Right.
I think it's all bullshit. But when Black Lives Matter happened, Starbucks rolled out their initiative, Target rolled out their initiative to get ahead of it so that they don't get hit in the pockets and try to keep customers coming. And you look up when you find an organization that really believes it.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that. However, for the majority of them, it is a good brand to have for people to apply to so that you can attract top tier talent. And then, they do get their token Black person and then be happy with it. And then, you know, it's it's just the way it is. I wonder what happened when she showed up for the interview.
Right.
Well,
Like when I
she mentioned that people would ghost her.
Mm.
She would travel different places to go to these interviews, and people would ghost her.
Wow.
And some other things, like people would ghost her. It would be like a no call back, like they like she would go through all these processes, like even like 2 and 3
Interview.
second and third interviews and stuff, and then nothing, crickets. So she talked about the whole process, and
I mean, it gets down to the name. I know people that have changed their name because their name was too ethnic
Yeah.
to make it more digestible for a resume
and that's
and
that you
talent selection.
Mm-hmm.
It gets to the point to where women change their hair for interviews, like, to make it more European.
Mm-hmm.
It gets to a point to where, like, I've had people be like, um, don't do too much makeup or get too dressed up so you're not like overly attractive to like uh kind of make yourself be like have a target on your back for like women feeling like insecure about theirs. Like it's a lot of tips and tricks that people of color have when they go on interviews in corporate America that are just like, you know, kept under the radar. We code switch.
Mm-hmm.
We
That's
do
huge.
certain things to kind of make ourselves more digestible. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not surprised, especially working in human resources. It's just they do have now diversity and inclusion teams, employee
Well,
resource
they're taking
group.
away some of them.
Oh well, yeah, you got to get funded by the government. We do have Trump in office, but nonetheless, yes, they do. They did roll out all of those initiatives when Black Lives Matter came out. It was supposed to be some before, but that was barely talked about. So, I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, Stephen, you work in HR?
Yeah, no, I remember at another company I was at, um, we were interviewing this woman, and she was a black woman. And when it was a phone interview, and she got off, they said, "So she might have a bit of an attitude." I was like, "What'd she do? Come on
Yeah.
there," and she didn't.
You can't be too
She
stern. You
didn't
can't be you
whatsoever.
can't be matter of fact.
Mhm.
You gotta be
Bubbly.
overly nice.
Mhm.
Yeah. I know girls that'll be like, girl, I'm taking my braids out tonight for this interview. Like they be like, I'm not showing up my hair in braids.
Mhm.
Like, yep, like I've seen it all. I've seen it
Yeah,
all.
me too. Chicken, what are your thoughts on this subject?
I think it's sad.
Yeah.
I think it's sad. Um, from someone that, well, I am still kind of in corporate because I work for the health system,
Hmm.
but I used to be in corporate, working for law firms and the banking industry. And, I go back to affirmative action. And I thought that it it was helpful for society. And I say that because you would have situations where people would never encounter someone of color unless they are at work.
Yeah.
And that would be their foray into learning about another culture. And you could, like, especially when I started working for the larger health systems, you could look in the department and see the Asian person, the Hispanic person, the black person, the white person, the Indian person. You could see
Hmm.
all of that in
Yeah.
the department. And you have potlucks and people bring stuff in for for the potluck. You get to experience other food. So
Yeah.
it helped socially, it helped culturally to bring us closer together. And now with DEI being a thing and you want to abolish it or remove it, what does that say for people that they can't get the exposure to other cultures? They remain closed off. They remain ignorant to the fact because they're never going to, at this point, have exposure to those other cultures, to be warm to them, to understand them, to embrace them. So I think it's sad. It's just sad for society.
It is, and they say the companies that have diversity are always more productive and more successful because they have that diverse work group, workforce.
We aren't even paid equitably. Like, if you're being honest, if you look at the breakdown of working compensation, if you look at the breakdown of the compensation by demographics, Black women are paid the lowest in corporate America.
But
And the most
okay, yes, that
educated.
is true.
And the
That is
most
true.
educated.
But at least you're in the building to prove yourself. They're not even letting them in the building to prove themselves. You're stopping them before they can even get in the door.
I don't know if that's even fair, because even by the time we get in the building, we have to have twice the credentials to make half the money they making.
That's true, but at least you're in the building.
The most Black women are overly qualified for the positions they're in and still not making the money that their counterparts are making with more credentials than them.
And I agree with you. That's very
So
true.
it's still
But
it's like
can you
we're putting
imagine can you imagine not getting in the building to have the opportunity to make the money for your family? At
I
least
think it's the
because
same.
they have to meet a quota, they can say, okay, yes, I can give you a job. Other than that, now they have no quotas to meet. I don't have to. So therefore, there's no job given to that Black woman that needs it, who's raising her family by herself. As opposed to when there were guidelines, we have to hire her because we need just one more in our box to bring them up on. Those guidelines aren't there to force them to hire you.
And I hear that. I think that, regardless, everybody should be on the same playing field with the credentials, because even though that she has her foot in the door, she's working a job beneath her to just make ends meet when she should be qualified for a promotion
Very true.
long
But
time
now she
ago.
doesn't even have to get hired at all.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she still has. What do you mean to get the promotion? That's the problem.
He's
She's not getting the
saying
promotion.
without affirmative action.
Well, no, without affirmative action and what's going on now.
Oh, well, yeah.
Now it's getting in. I don't think a lot of people realize that companies get incentives for when you get your tokens.
Yep.
A lot of people don't realize that just like states get paid per child when it comes to going to school. You don't see that money. We don't see that money.
Right.
The district sees that money. And then they do what they want to do with it, but companies get the same incentive. Oh, you want to go? All right, you need this many to fill a quota, and then we'll give you X amount of money. That a lot of companies, benefit from that.
And it even breaks down to when people are on public assistance.
Yep.
Companies get tax breaks for pulling people off of public assistance and giving them a job. Well, how many people are on public assistance? Who's actually using public assistance? What color are they mostly? What does that look like?
Yeah. And the people that benefit the most, the group that benefit the most from affirmative action are white women.
Yeah.
So the whole game's messed up. But anyway, listen, y'all, that's Hot Topics. Thank you so much for the great conversation. Check out some movie reviews, and we'll be right back after this.